I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, Mallory, that is crunch time. Or in your case, salami time. Good old salami time. Everyone remembers salami time. Good morning, folks. And thank you for the thank yous. I appreciate it. I'm actually still not all the way through reading those tweets because I've had such a busy 2 days, and I've been reading them when I get a chance, and they're very sweet. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. Mal's enjoyed reading them too. Mm-hmm. And people have been saying thank you, Mal, too. Mm-hmm. You guys are great. You guys are really great, and I appreciate it. Mallory's eating salami and throwing cheese on the ground. That's how you know. I caught it. That's how you truly know. Breakfast stream has begun. So,
this brie is so good.
I needed to finish the milk.
Yeah.
So I'm having cereal again. After this, I think I'll go back to toast. Mm-hmm. Because toast is a lot easier to like eat and include in the stream because I can like take breaks and it won't get soggy. But this is like, oh my god, I have to keep going. Good point, Brandon. We don't have a cereal emote. Ma'am, we have a cereal emote on Discord. I made a cereal emote like years ago. Mm-hmm. I could probably bring that up if I wanted to.
You could.
It's a thing I could do.
I'm having brie, and I had a couple pieces of salami, and I have a banana. It's a weird combination, but I needed to start getting rid of stuff. Because the banana's at the perfect ripeness. And this cheese needs to be gone before we leave next week.
Just the idea of cheese, like having cheese in a banana. Like, banana and brie.
Brie goes with things like apples and pears and...
But banana?
I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
Oh. Tom has a cereal emote. Mm-hmm. There you go. So, oh, hi, bud.
Sagan, hi!
Up here?
Last night I woke up to Sagan meowing. But when I got up, he was in the laundry basket, asleep.
Here, smell my cereal.
So I pet his little head. Don't let him eat your cereal.
I'm not gonna let him eat it. I'm just letting him
And then he got out of the laundry basket, and then I got back in bed, and then he crawled up on me.
There we go.
And just sat there and purred.
I let him smell the cereal because it's enticing.
Now he's after my cheese. That's enticing.
Well, I wanted him on my lap because I love him.
I love him too.
And I thought what would work, and I was like, smell this cereal. And it worked.
Hi. Please don't eat my cheese.
He might. But he probably won't. I also remembered. Well, I say remembered. I didn't remember, obviously. Mm-hmm. I was reading chat, and I forgot to move Wonderful 101. It's the 101st stream forever. Sorry. That's just the way it is.
Here. I got a lap. I love you. Come here. You don't like coffee. No, you did not like coffee smell. Hi, honey.
So, on Tuesday, this is for Riley. This is Honey Nut Cheerios. We have like 1,000 boxes of it. I'm trying to get rid of it. On Tuesday, though, the thing about the stream was that we had to start recording.
Just don't put your tail in my cheese.
Resident Evil 6, and since then we did it.
Good boy. No one can see you laying there.
Played through the remaining bits.
Yeah.
And we didn't have a choice. We had to finish the whole game because we need all of that content to cover us.
I hope you missed Leon's hair. I did.
Ma'am, it's that game. I'm gonna be honest. After having played through all of them, I really like it. I really like it. I can definitely identify that it is not the greatest video game, because it ain't. But I really like it. There's some very glaring flaws, but there's also just a lot of fun about it. So.
No, my cheese.
Mom says, would you be dishonest? It's a fun couch co-op game. I honest to God can't imagine playing the game alone. I just feel like if you were playing it single player, it would not be that great. It's not even designed for that because they have like the always on online where people can just drop into your game. It's really meant to be played with multiple people. Wilson asks, how does it compare to Resident Evil 5? I think 5 might be better because the story is less convoluted. Resident Evil 5 is nice because, like, when you start, from start to finish, it's like the story.
Yeah.
You don't have to think about, like, what's happening. 6 is hard because, like, you have to play through these 3 adventures and try and put together the pieces yourself. And then you play the 4th adventure, Ada, and it, like, flips everything on its head. And you're like, what? And that's cool. The reveal of everything is really neat. So I like the story of 6, but it's harder to follow. 6 introduces some good, like, combat stuff, though, that I think is probably a little better than 5. But neither 5 or 6 are known for being the greatest Resident Evil games, but they're still fun. They're couch co-op games. They're action games, which bothers people. And the other thing that I like about both games, especially 6, is the monsters.
Yeah.
I love the monsters. They're so over the top and ridiculous. You know what I mean? I really like that. This is like intense music. This is like what is playing in Resident Evil when you're running. But it's interesting playing 6 now and knowing that they take a completely different direction with 7, and it goes back to like single player and like actual horror. Because when 7 came out, people were like, holy crap, this game is scary. I can't keep playing it. And Mal's been worried that I'm going to ask her to play 7. No more horror. What was the last horror game we played, Mal? What? Until Dawn.
Resident Evil.
Well, I have strong opinions about that. 7 in VR is spooks. I don't think I could play 7 in VR, man. I don't have a huge problem with horror, but I've never played a horror game where it was 1 inch from my eyeballs, and I don't think that I could do that. I feel like I would be disturbed. Personally.
Second.
Yeah, we did a demo when the demo came out. That's probably the closest thing we'll ever do to playing through 7.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll play through 7 at some point.
Yeah, you can play through it.
What if we did it together, but I was the only one that played it? So you were just along. You were just along for the screams. No? What? It doesn't sound like a fun time? Because it sounds like a fun time to me. Mega Cyborg asks, didn't we do PT? We did. We did. And that's a great video. That's a great video. I highly recommend it. It's, there's a lot of mouth jumping.
Sagan is after the spree.
Brandon says that might be scarier because then you wouldn't have control. I didn't think about it that way. That's a good question for chat. you're put in a position where you have to play a scary video game. Could be Resident Evil 7, could be whatever. Is it better or worse? You have to play it. Is it better or worse that you play it or you watch it? Because I know a lot of people don't like horror games. I would imagine that it would be better if you weren't playing it, because then you aren't controlling it and you don't feel like you're responsible. Much worse to play it. Playing it is worse. Playing it is worse. See, that's what I would think. I would think it would be harder to play it. And, like, I understand Brandon's reasoning, though. Mm-hmm. I'm just going both ways, though.
Second, the cheese is gone. There's no more cheese. No more cheese.
Also, the responses from the people who just like horror games means less here, because they're just like, you know, I'll just play it. I'm like, well, that's not fair. You enjoy it. Most people just, they don't like horror, man.
Yeah.
Another good question. Is there anyone... I'm looking for a very specific person here. Is there anyone who likes to watch horror films, like it genuinely enjoys them, but doesn't like playing horror games because they're too scary? I don't know if that person exists. Maybe. Because, like, that's a really... Really? There's... Okay, alright, well... So people... Interesting. And I guess that would actually play into the same thing, because it's easier to put yourself out of the movie. That's true. That's true. And that actually plays into the same thing about why it would be harder and worse to play the horror game rather than watch it. Because with a movie, you can just be like, haha, this is fake. Well, I mean, I guess a game is too. The games are real. You get scared in the game, you get scared in real life. Okay, this got too soggy. There's not much left, but I tried. I've always really liked horror stuff. But also...
I also... Sagan does not like the banana.
Hi, bud. Oh, escape to... Oh, he ran away. Banana was not okay.
I think it was, like, the smell of it, because it's perfect.
Elio's the other way, where they'll play horror games, but avoid horror movies. The games feel more real because you control the character. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And you... Because, like, okay, so here's a good idea. A good comparison. Because, like, when you're watching a horror movie, you're in the car. You know what I mean? You're in the car. But when you're playing a horror game, you're driving the car. And there's all these things that can go wrong that you have no control of. If you're watching a movie, you know that the movie is a static thing. It's going to resolve itself. But it's much freakier to play the game and be like, I control this character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Morning, Dan. Hope you had a good sleep. We're discussing horror. Horror games, horror movies. The interesting split between them, like people that genuinely enjoy the horror movies but won't play the games because they're too scary, and then why that is, which it seems to be just controlling the character, the protagonist in a game is harder because you're in control of it. You did not grow up on horror, and because of that, you're not a fan
I
of it.
remember being in my parents' sunroom, very, very little, and Wizard of Oz was on, and whenever the Wicked Witch would come on TV, I would hide between the couch and the wall.
Gami asked if Paratopic would be considered horror. I mean, so everything runs a gamut, right? like everyone's tolerance of something runs a gamut. So for people's tolerance of horror, Paratopic would be considered scary. Mm-hmm. And there is a jump scare in that game. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people will classify horror as just environmental, so it's unsettling. Coffee! So, you can't even reach it?
Pull the whole thing here.
So that's another thing, is like, when it's environmental, which I think is great, when you truly have something that's really unsettling, really unsettling, that's probably my favorite type of horror, where you don't know, it's not that anything has necessarily scared you, it's just the fact it could. So movies that do that really well, because they don't have to do anything to actively try and scare you, it's just setting up the possibility. I love that. That's my favorite thing, because you don't have to rely on, ripping someone open with a chainsaw or, actively chasing someone. It's just the fact that something could happen. And it's one of the reasons why games that do it in that style are so good. It's one of the reasons I liked Paratopic, too, because even though, from a narrative perspective, it was not always well explained, there were moments in that game that were so unsettling. Again, I keep coming back to the guy pumping the gas. I loved that.
What's the movie with the guys who are going up to their cabin in, like, West Virginia?
Cabin Fever?
No, it's like a parody of horror.
Dale and Tucker?
Yeah.
I think it's Dale and Tucker.
I liked that. That was good.
There's also Cabin in the Woods, which is
I did like that.
Cabin in the Woods is like the smart one. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, oh, it's a horror movie, and then it gets flipped on its head, and it's real smart. Mm-hmm. And this is a big recommendation. If there's anyone out there that's like, I just don't like horror movies. I don't like them. Cabin in the Woods is my recommendation. Cabin in the Woods is the horror movie for people who don't like horror movies. If you get a chance this weekend, watch it, because it's a horror movie that's not really a horror movie, and I think you'll actually enjoy it. It's
Tucker and Dale versus evil.
That's it.
It is very good.
And that's another one, but for different reasons.
Yeah, that's...
You can handle both of those non-horror fans.
Especially Dale and Tucker.
Both. You can handle both for different reasons. Cabin in the Woods is very smart, and it's set up to be as stereotypical campy as possible. Mm-hmm. And when you start getting into it and you see the real plot comes out, you'll be like, what? So it's good, and I think it'll make non-horror fans appreciate it. And then Dale and Tucker is just funny. It's a comedy. So, what's the blood content?
Dale and Tucker has some.
I'm sure both of them. I'm sure both of them are probably heavy on blood. That I can't. Yeah, if your issue is blood and gore, I don't think either of them will. I think they're probably both pretty bloody and gory. But as far as if that's not the horror aspect you don't like, if you just don't like the unsettling nature, then you'll be fine. But yeah, I think they both have probably a fair bit of that.
I've seen parts of Coraline.
I'd like to watch that at some point.
I would too.
Linnell does the dad's voice.
Yeah, I've been interested in it. The author lives in Menominee.
Really?
He's British, and he moved to Menominee, of all places.
That's an odd choice.
I know. And apparently, I never saw his house, but apparently it's like the perfect, like, Halloween night house, like Victorian mansion, and they go all out.
Interesting.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman lives there.
I just realized we haven't started to read any sort of alerts. I should probably do that. We got really caught up in the horror aspect. Between the scenes, subs from Sardimer is a God, Clockwork Clementine, Early Dragon 3, some guy called JC. That's it. And then this morning, we got a 10-month sub from Hella Mozzarella 13, a 6-month sub from Calix, double plus, 3-month sub from Brittany 034, hey, I got a plus, another 3-month sub from Zephyrantha, who says, got that plus. Been watching you guys for a couple years now, and I love everything you do. Thanks for all your work and all the good times. No problem. Glad to supply. Got a sub from Chill Days. Got an 11-month sub from ComCody20. Yay, 11 months. I can finally start watching. I'm in the morning again since I'm up before my class. Anyway, keep making great work, you two. We will try, Cody. We will try. 2 months from Everchanger, who says, I love you, George Toast. I hope everyone loves something as much as Everchanger loves toast. 500 bits from Novara 2018. Greetings from my summer vacation in New Brunswick, Canada. I'm visiting the town of St. Stephen today and getting the two of you some candy from the Ganong Chocolate Factory. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Ganong. Only a place such as St. Stephen could give us such a great candy store. That's exciting. We've received, interesting, what's the word? Confectionaries. That's like the $5 word for that, for candy. It's just candy, but we've received interesting confectionaries from all over the place in mail, which I always appreciate.
Casual Shadow says, but is there a St. Mallory? There's a Mallory Square.
I don't know if they have a candy store.
I don't know either.
Where is that? That's at the very tip of Florida?
That's in Key West.
Yeah, in Key West.
I want to go. That's where Hemingway's house is with all the polydactyl cats.
At some point we'll go.
Okay.
In the meantime, you will have to settle for confectionaries from St. Stephen. Navarra, thank you, and thank you in advance for the candy. I appreciate that. That is exciting. Lord knows I love candy. 8-month sub from Gami, Origami Gamer. Hooray! Only one more month till triple plus. Early congrats on that. And then following with you, 8 months from Vinny G Plays. Not quite 12, but not far behind. Been watching since just before you moved out of the apartment. So I'm glad to be able to support you two with my subs each month, and now Patreon too. Well, thank you, Vinny. And also, I hope you enjoy... Coffee! I'm not even going to finish my original statement because that's too great. Vinny, I hope you enjoy coffee. If you don't, give it another shot. I know it takes people a while to warm up, which is kind of a pun, kind of a play on words, warm up to coffee. Thank you, Vinny. 500 bits also from Curly Potato 819. In relation to Keurig coffee, I know you're more into the Tim Hortons, but you should definitely give Green Mountain a try. We have had Green Mountain before.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Today is actually, I'm really repping Tim Hortons today because this is a Tim Hortons mug, and I have Tim Hortons coffee in it.
Is it the Ultra Dark Bold?
Extra dark.
Extra Dark Bold?
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
They have a little slider, a little like graphic on the carton.
Yeah, in the box.
And it like it runs the gamut. And this one is as far to one side as it goes.
It's really good. Dark Magic is good. I think this is darker somehow. It's been a long time since I've had Dark Magic.
And we've had Green Mountain, but I'm just like, I don't know. Dan says coffee tastes like dirt to me.
Dan, let me make you a cup of coffee.
I was going to say, Dan, coffee tastes like dirt. It's great. It's really great.
See, I think this has like very heavy chocolate feel.
You have cream in yours?
Yes.
Okay, well, try mine.
No.
Try a sip of mine with no cream and taste what extra dark tastes like completely black.
Dirt.
See? Coffee is dirt.
Dirt. And I don't even use all that much sugar and cream. Like, mine isn't much lighter in color than yours. It's like, they give you that whole container if you go to a restaurant with cream.
Yeah.
The little plasticky one. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even use all that when I put cream in.
Rachel asked if we have the thing where we can brew our own coffee grounds in the Keurig. And we
have
do.
it.
We do. I've actually used it before. I'm trying to think of when we last used it. It's been a while, but someone had sent us coffee. And I made some coffee in that for a while.
Dan says, dirt with dirt overtones.
Somewhere Jeff is crying. Anyway.
California, I think.
Oh yeah, I'm in California right now. Curly Potato, thank you. Appreciate it. Coffee Cats, we were just talking about coffee. Gifted a sub to Canned Soup Leah. Okay. I hope Leah enjoys their canned soup. Thank you, Coffee Cats. 500 bits from PCall6754. Thank you, Stephen and Mal, for everything you guys do. I'm actually catching a breakfast stream before college starts in 2 days. Yeah, shout out to everyone going off to school? Either going back to school. Special shout out to anyone going to school for the first time. So if you're on your way to college, I actually just spoke to someone last night who's on their way to college for the first time. Do we have any would-be college freshmen in the chat? So I can address them specifically. Who is going to be
going to college for their first college day?
Yeah, for their first college day. Because I know there's probably a few of you. The feeling when you're graduated.
First year grad student.
I'm there with you, Fossix. Yeah, okay, grad school too. Grad school's not the same though, because you have the experience.
Someone just went by. Someone said me.
Okay. High school senior is a big deal too. That's where you're the big fish in the pond. That will change in a year. I just wanted to say to all the college freshmen, good luck.
It's my first time dorming and living on campus.
Good luck. Have fun. Think clearly. And enjoy college. College is a very important time. It shapes you. It really does. I strongly feel that the 4 or 2 or, God forbid, 8 years that you spend in college really do have a huge effect on the person that you become. And I wish all of you luck. It's also, for a lot of people, it's the first time that they're away from home. And, like, it was my first time away from home.
I had a great time.
And I did. I really did.
It was like a sleepover. I roomed with my best friend, and it was like a sleepover every day. Like, we hung out, we went and had dinner, we would stay up and play games, like...
I try not to sell college like that, but...
It was so good, though.
But it really... I also felt the same. Like, every day... Like, it was school, and there was work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, God, it was some of the most fun that I've ever had in my entire life to hang around people that you genuinely really like.
And there's... I know you didn't get out much, but, there's so much, like, my college, we had a swing dance group, and I did swing dancing, and, like, I did that for, like, a couple months, and then I was like, nah, and then I started going to the game group, and we would do LAN parties, and, I roomed with Haley junior year. My freshman and sophomore year, I roomed with Stephanie.
Yep.
And Lindsay was across the hall sophomore year.
You had a lot of good people around that you already knew.
Yeah.
See, my college experience was different because I went to college with I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
And the only person I knew, I roomed with Alex.
Yeah, but you hadn't met Alex.
I had never met Alex. I just knew him from the internet. And we had talked a little, but not really. It's not like we were buddies.
Yeah.
It's just that I knew who he was, and he knew who I was, and that was the extent of it.
Origami Gamer says Mel was the best FPS player in her college. No, but I was the only girl. And I didn't have, like, a rig. I had a laptop, and I couldn't play, and we were all gonna play Left 4 Dead, and I couldn't do it, like, on my laptop. So someone's like, I'm taking a break, use mine, and then we played Left 4 Dead.
It's true. Leoka Brothers said, do you recommend college to people? It's not something so college is not for everybody, and everyone should understand that. Going or not going to college does not make you better or worse than anyone else. I don't like the false thing that is shoved down kids' throats of, like, you have to go to college, because that's not true. But at the same time, I don't think college is, like, an inherently bad, evil thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, certainly, at least in the States, it's probably the #1 source of debt for most people. So there's a lot of issues there. Definitely consider doing community college first, if it's a cheaper alternative. But college is good. You do not have to go. You can have a perfectly good, sometimes better, for the specific person, life without college. But it's like it's a toss-up.
It was pushed heavily in my high school.
Oh, it was pushed heavily in my school too.
I don't know what percentage of my graduating class went to college, but we had senior band night for our last concert.
Yeah.
And they had all the seniors come up, and it was like, oh, so-and-so is doing this with, after graduation, and they said what everyone was doing, and all of us were going to a college.
Yeah. I mean, there are, simply put, and this is how it works, and they should really do a better job in high school of telling you this. There are some jobs that require higher education. They just do. It's how it is. Obviously, if you get out of high school and you really want to be a doctor, that's just what you want to do. You're not going to be able to just be a doctor. Like, I mean, you could, but you're going to do it out of hotel rooms and you're going to go to jail. So, like, you have to get higher education for that. But there's a lot of jobs that don't require higher education. And you are going to be, especially at the beginning, at an advantage because you won't have the college debt. And there are job paths that don't require a degree that still pay a lot of money. So, like, keep that in mind. If you really, truly don't want to do it, then don't do it. And if it's something that at some point in your future you decide that you want to pursue, then pursue it then.
And always make sure you're looking into, if you decide to go, or if you go to a trade school, there's always ways to help finance it. Because I was not called into the guidance office and told, this is what you should be doing. I was the first person in my family to go. I had to figure it all out. Yeah. I knew of scholarships, but I didn't know how to get them or how to look for them. I didn't understand, like, filling out FAFSA. Yep. I filled out a college application, and I was just like, I don't know, and I filled in everything.
One of the big problems with college is that, like, and this, I apologize to anyone who is at the end of their teenage years. Like, when you're 18, you don't have a good, like, solid grasp of the cost.
Oh, I had no idea.
Of everything. Like, you think you know how much money that is, but you really don't, and you won't for a while. And then you may not, what you are super into may change a little bit. So, like, there's an advantage of, like, waiting to figure it out. There's also an advantage of if you go to a community college or a actual, like, full, whatever you call it, state intuition, etc. And you, institution, what did I say? Intuition? State intuition. State institution. And you are, like, trying different classes because you have to figure it out. It's hard. It's actually hard. Yeah. And they put all of this pressure on people that just got out of high school and they're 18. Yeah. And it's like, well, do you have any idea how much $100,000 is? And you're like, no. I mean, I guess, like, I've
sign this loan. You can't
sign
declare
over
bankruptcy for.
Yeah, sign over. Just put your name on this dotted line, 18-year-old. That guarantees us 25 years of your life. And you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm gonna, like, get a job and then it'll be okay. So it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. I have, and I relate to that a lot too, because I went to an extremely expensive school, and I did it because I was interested in the school. But I also, as a kid, I'm sorry to everyone that's 18, you're not quite a kid, but it's all relative. As a kid, as an 18-year-old kid, I didn't know how much money that was. And in my head, I was like, well, I guess I'll get a job and I'll pay it off. It's how it works. So just be careful, especially if you're looking at an art school. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that was helpful and not just, like, a stream of consciousness coming out of my mouth hole. I just want people to always, like, know their options, think through their options, and be aware of everything that's going on. You know what I mean? Because adulting is hard. Adulting is difficult. Thank you, chat. Multiple people just said that. It is. Being an adult is hard, and it's hard because the system is set up in such a way where they want you to become an adult as fast as possible, and you're just really not quite there yet. Understanding how much money that is really difficult, and it can be hard.
And not every school prepares you for things.
And
Like, I had classes on how to do your taxes. And
Lucky.
how... Yeah, I know. Looking back, I know now. But I thought every school taught you how to fill out a 1099 easy. Not that that works for us now. 1099 easy does not work for us. But I have
nothing easy about
I have
our
a
taxes.
basic idea, having filled that out, what ours look like and how to understand it.
Anyway, I feel like we crossed into the threshold of scaring people. Let me dial it back again and say how we started all this. The heavy metal music's not helping that. I'm just gonna skip ahead to something more cheerful. If you're going off to college for the first time this coming week, study hard.
Go to class.
Go to-
Everyone's
go to-
going to tell you that, but seriously.
But actually do it. Go to class, but also enjoy it. You're getting an education, which is good, and I hope that it helps you for your future. But also enjoy the people around you. If it's the first time you're away from home, enjoy it. Learn. This is a good chance for you to develop responsibility, and I wish you luck. That's how this started. It
And
very quickly devolved.
Take advantage of the stuff the college offers.
That's another thing. Find out what they do, because they probably have things you don't even know.
Yeah. There's stuff I learned about, like, my senior year, and I'm like, where was this?
Yeah.
This is great.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
People are telling me about the beans. Let's do the beans. had to talk about that. Now we run the beans. Patreon.com/StephenGeorgeMalmix if you're interested in supporting there. And thank you to all of the patrons who are, their names are doing the wave. They're doing the wave. So now that we've brought that back down, that was all started by Pico. Pico, thank you for the bits. And we'll continue on through some of these alerts. 200 bits from Squid. Speaking of horror, I have to get ready for work after the stream. And that's an entire different level of horror.
Elxame has a good point. Jobs for college students, if you have time. I had a college job that gave me work experience. I had, what's it called when financial aid pays for your what you make at a job at school? Will someone remind me? Because financial aid will give work study. Thank you, Brandon.
Work study.
I had work study, and I was like, oh, yeah, I'll get a job. And I worked at our organic vegan cafe, which was super interesting because I never grew up that way, and I didn't know what vegans ate. So we made vegan food, vegetarian food. It was super interesting. Most of the people that worked there were dietitian majors. And because I wasn't, they were like, oh, you can be manager and, like, count money at night.
Yeah.
And I had worked at, a fast food restaurant all my life, so it was super fun. It was easy for me. And then I also worked at 1 year at my dorm's front desk. Mm-hmm. And I could do, like, my homework there. I could bring my laptop. I could watch. YouTube didn't exist. I could play games.
you're
I chatted
old.
with you.
Oh, you're old.
I would take my laptop. Stephanie could come sit down there with me at the desk, and we'd just sit and watch movies. All I had to do was, like, check out kitchen equipment, get people's packages. That was fun. When I started teaching, I got one related to my field. I worked an after-school program at the local elementary school, and work study paid them to pay me, so...
Mm-hmm. Alxame said she worked at driving buses. It was amazing, and I recommend it to anyone. Didn't Thomas drive buses too? Did I imagine that?
I don't remember that at all.
Or something? Is Thomas still here? He was here earlier. And he's like, I know he's at work, so he's also like...
Did I know? He
Thomas,
did not...
didn't you drive a bus? Thomas, no, please, there's a connection here. I don't remember things well, Thomas, and you know that. But, like, didn't you drive something at college? Was it a bus? I did Cocky's Reading Express and I rode a bus. No, Thomas, you drove something. Thomas, please.
Chaz was the bus driver, clearly.
Chaz actually was a bus driver, but he was a fictional bus driver. Chaz drove... No, Thomas, you drove something. Thomas said, "Oh, please, there's got to be the drunk bus." I guess you drove a drunk bus. I just remember something, and it's amazing. I don't remember anything. Thomas, I remembered you drove a bus. Apparently, he drove a drunk bus. I'm sure he's typing something up. Now I'm really curious because I'm not. Actually, my son, we called it Tipsy Taxi. I drove kids around campus on Fridays and Saturday nights to the frat houses. Okay, that's it. See? I knew it. I knew I remembered something. I knew it. You did it, lad. Thank you, Thomas. Spam wrote, you drove a bus. I just couldn't remember exactly. Thomas says, I have stories. Thomas, we gotta have you back on the stream to tell your stories in person. You gotta break into our house. Again, please. So you can hear your bus stories. Anyway, come visit. Alright, well. We were almost there. Let me get back to these alerts. We got 10 months sub from Dark Overlord. Woo, 10 months. Nothing special here other than double digits. Thank you, Dark Overlord. 300 bits from Troop Captain 97. Movies, be afraid. Games, be very afraid. Which honestly is a good summary, I think, of how people, like, feel about that. About horror stuff. Be very afraid. We got 100 bits from JCJX. Thank you, JC. Bedazzled Triceratops gifts a sub to Sagan. It's appropriate.
Sagan, come back.
Wait, no, there's more here. Bedazzled gifted subs to Sagan, to Kepler, and to Rocco. Now, you can't, if you call Rocco, you're going to have to be real loud. Because he won't be able to hear you from far away. It's like miles.
Oh, but Rocco has this on.
Oh my goodness, that's a good point.
Because Rocco's probably sitting on your dad's feet.
And my dad watches the breakfast streams. Hi, Rocco. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're good. Bedazzled Triceratops, thank you for the continued gift sub fun. And shout out to whoever grabbed up Sagan as a username. It's a good username. 300 bits from Snozzy6. Good morning, Stephen Amau.
He heard his name.
I think he heard his name.
Sagan.
Or just meow down there forever. Good morning, Stephen Amau. I've been a faithful VOD watcher since the beginning, and this is my first time live. Tomorrow I'm getting up even earlier to fly to France and visit my fiancée. Hope you have a great day.
That's exciting.
That is exciting. Well, first off, thanks for being here live. Thanks for watching the VODs. I actually appreciate that a lot. And have fun going to France. Is that your first time to France? Or are you just, like, revisiting France? Both are exciting. Probably be considerably more exciting if it's your, like, very first time. You've never been to France.
I want to go.
But you want to go.
I took French in high school.
Then you would probably, like it. Because you could understand what they say.
I mean, sort of.
Because I was in France in 2000.
And you didn't take French in high school.
Yeah, I couldn't understand what they were saying.
Oh.
I was in Paris, so.
Rocco's not in the den.
Oh, Rocco's
laying in the sun at the front door.
See, now that's harder to get onto the stream.
It'd have to be like tweeted and then
Yeah. Because then you have to like
yeah,
that's true. The next thing is for Chaz to develop an app. An iOS app where I can just hit a button and then it does it that way. Anyway.
Do I remember French? Quite a bit. But I took about the same amount of Japanese, so I sometimes get words confused and I'll start thinking like in Japanese, but then like I can't think of the word in Japanese, so my brain is like, here's the French word. And I'm like, that's not helpful.
Oh, actually, Snazzy says, first time in France, first time outside of the country.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I've lived in the Northwest U.S. for my entire life, so I'm prepared for some major culture shock. I think it'll be fun. Actually, it's more exciting when it's your first time I was going to say in France, but really outside the country too, because it's super different. The U.S. has got a feel, and it changes a little bit depending on where you are in the U.S., especially in like major cities. But getting a chance to go to another country and experience it is just special.
Yeah.
Special.
And it's my first time out of the country was Ireland.
Mm-hmm.
So like, sorry, I have the hiccups.
You can do it.
Ireland is a pretty comparable country. Like,
yeah,
most people speak English.
Yeah, like obviously there's some cultural differences, but you feel this weird like subconscious connection.
And I knew most of the foods.
Yeah. So I liked Ireland.
Yeah.
I liked Ireland, and I liked the UK.
I want to go to many places.
But
I was thinking recently. I've been thinking about how I'd like to go to England and like up to Scotland.
Yeah. So I've been to London.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I know that people, a lot of times it feels like people from London complain about London, or maybe just from England complain about London. But it was nice because it was something that was very like different, and then also felt the same. It felt like the bizarro U.S. in a way, because everyone spoke English because it's England, makes sense. But it was a little different, and everyone has got English accents because it's England, and that was just fascinating to my 18-year-old self. We'll have to go at some point. We were in what's the airport?
Heathrow.
You got to be in Heathrow on the way back from a trip at one point.
I mean, it was Heathrow.
It's true. It's not the same.
We spent the entire time walking because it took forever to go anywhere.
It was Stephen doing an English accent. It will probably change to a pirate accent if I attempt.
Someone asked if we'd been to Wales. No.
No.
You just went to London, and I haven't been.
Yes. The reason I remember that Heathrow stop in that trip just so...
Was it those kids?
It was the kids!
Those kids!
They were behind us?
They were behind us on our first flight, and we were like... Or no, they were across the aisle on the first flight.
Oh, that's right.
And we were like, wow, those are some
bad
entitled
kids.
People. Because the parents were awful, too.
Yes.
And then we were like, okay, surely they won't be on our next flight. So we get through this crazy hour walk in Heathrow through like security and like a bus. Like it was crazy.
It was forever. And then we decide, and we're in Heathrow. It's like a giant shopping mall, basically.
Yeah. And we're like, oh, let's eat at this like super British pub place.
So we go in, we get a seat. 2 minutes later, who sits next to us? This family. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Out of everywhere?
And everywhere in that restaurant. Because it was like a full restaurant.
What are the odds?
And then we're like, they're not going to be on our next flight. They were behind us,
kicking our seat. Oh my God.
The dad was behind me, and he was kicking my
your seat too, yeah.
Oh, it was...
When was that?
That was when we went to Greece.
That was Greece. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then we probably talk about that on a vlog.
Yeah.
Whatever the vlog is where we come back from Greece then. Mm-hmm. So it was that when was that? 2015? 2016?
Well, it would have been 4 years ago.
2015. Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyway, slight deviation. Let me get back to what I was doing. 3 months up from NSCAV. I start my first law school day on Monday. Ooh, that's exciting. And also just sounds hard. Like if someone says they're going to law school, I'm immediately like proud of that person, and I don't ever want to have to think about doing that myself. I'm like, that is awesome for you. You do that. You rock that. I will root you on because I don't want to have anything to do with law school. It sounds really hard. Congrats on the plus. We get 100 bits from Goldmage. Thank you, Goldmage. Appreciate it. 3 months up from BL Rasmu. Last stream before school starts up. See you again in December. Aw. Good luck with the maths. Teach them kids the maths. And congrats on the plus. 200 bits from Bedazzled Triceratops. I want to teach. Wish me luck.
Good luck.
I wish you luck. Mal's been there. Mm-hmm. We've known lots of people. And I guess Carly's the person we know closest now who's still teaching. a lot of it has to do with the school you get into, and I hate to say that. That's just how it is. But I wish you luck. Get your education. I hope you find a good school and everything works out the best that it possibly can.
Be prepared to jump through a lot of hoops. Oh, you gotta do this. Oh, you gotta take this test. Oh, you gotta get this thing. There's a lot.
Yeah. 290 bits from Troop Captain. Says, I agree, some people have such a hard time committing to their adultery. That didn't sound right. New Ashley Madison slogan. People have such a hard time committing to their adultery. Satsy gifted a sub to college education and adulting so hard. Which, both of those are very difficult. Satsy, thank you for the gift subs. Joining in the ranks of Bedazzled Triceratops of fun, ludicrous sub gifts.
Riley Ivy, that's great. Got Praxis 2 waived. That's really good.
I remember when you hated it.
I had to take the PPST, which is Praxis 1, and then I had to do Praxis 2 in my field, because the Praxis 2 is related to whatever you're studying in, so I had to take the Art Praxis 2. And then once I got my license in Wisconsin, then came down here and had to transfer it to a South Carolina license, and they were like, oh, you need to take a different Praxis. And I was like, come on. So then I had to take a different Praxis.
Sorry. But you did it.
I did it.
You jumped the hoops, Mel. That's the big thing. Nintendo Fan 1038 resubscribed for 11 months. Thank you, Nintendo Fan. Bedazzled Triceratops gifted a sub to Drunk Bus Fake. Not to be confused with Drunk Bus Real. Drunk Bus Official, which I think is Thomas's alt account. Thank you, Bedazzled.
Foss Extreme says, wasn't one of the Praxises drawing boxes in 1, 2, and 3 point perspective? Yes, but it's not the one I had to take. And that's all it was. It was like, $80, do this.
150 bits from JCJX. I see Mal sitting legs tucked in. Is this more comfortable? I sit like this most of the time too, and it feels cozy.
Oh, I don't sit like a normal person ever. Right now I have, like, these are my knees, so I'm sitting like this.
I'm really glad that you pointed out what your knees were. Because everyone at home was like, what are those?
And I sit crisscross applesauce all the time. And sometimes I sit, like...
Hi, everyone. These are my elbows. I didn't know if you knew. There's my elbows.
Cow face. Yeah, I sit cow face a lot.
I do my best to sit as normal as possible because I know that that's going to help my back and everything. So you sit like that and it drives me nuts.
I know.
She sits on her legs and I'm like, ah! I got the chair to help me, like, be as perfect as possible so I don't, like, cripple my back or anything over the course of my life. And Mal's just, like, in a pretzel. And I'm like, you can't sit like that. What are knees?
Sagan.
Great question. No one's actually been able to answer it. That's a great question. Troop Captain 97 gifts a sub to Stay Hydrated bot, putting the bot at 2 months. Thank you, Troop Captain. And JCJX gives a sub to Chugga Conroy, putting Emil at 4 months. Emil watches a lot of the breakfast streams. I don't know if he's always here live.
He may be watching the VOD.
He's probably watching a lot of the VODs because I know that his sleep schedule's sometimes all over the place.
Especially with PAX coming up.
Oh my god, PAX is soon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a reason. There was a reason we couldn't do PAX this year.
Yeah.
It was too close. Actually, no, it was impossible this year.
Oh yeah, this year's impossible.
We couldn't do
Southeast Game Exchange
because it was too close to a trip. And it is. And we couldn't do PAX because it literally overlapped.
Yeah.
It was impossible. Bedazzled Triceratops gives a sub to Sitting. Moist Crunchy Potato gives a sub to Knees and Elbows. If you're sitting on your knees and elbows, you are... What's that called? If you're on your knees and... You're crawling.
Yeah.
Crawling in my skin. These wounds, they will not heal. Thank you, Bedazzled, and Moist Crunchy Potato. And thank you, Sagan, for meowing in the echoey bathroom. You're doing us all a huge favor, doing the world a service. Sephiroth gives us up to Neck.
Gold Mage, cow face is a yoga pose. The way the legs are, that's how I sit a lot.
It's just, soon we'll have gifted a sub to every part of the human body. Knees, elbows, neck, and...
Toes.
Toes? Well, it's not... It's head, shoulders, knees, and toes, right?
Yeah.
Knees, elbows, neck, and crawling in my skin. Bedazzled gifted a sub to crawling in my skin with 3 N's, which I think really gives the impression of...
Fagin!
Of the song. Moist Crunchy Potato gives a sub to torso. Knees, elbow, torso, and... Oh god. I got a haircut. Yes, I got a haircut. Had a torso, on it was a head. On the head was some hair. Got it, and then it's all shaved off. Have I told you the story about a neck and a... Oh my god, this is not going well. Let me try this again. Torso and a neck and an elbow. Everybody knows a fellow. That fellow's name is Gami. Gami's here, and he's gonna do bits. I did my best, and it wasn't very good. Sometimes you do okay. Sometimes you don't do okay. Sometimes it is bad. Sometimes it's not good. No, it's not 10 out of 10. That was not great. That was not great at all. Thank you so much. No problem, Gami. No problem. It started with a haircut, went to body parts, and then I was like, nope, not working. Not working. Rhyme elbow with fellow and get out of there. Get out of there, soldier. Gami, thank you. I sincerely appreciate the support. And that might be a good place to cap the stream. And as one final thing, and I don't know if this is against our better judgment, I think this is actually going to be a good call. A good call. Oh, Bedazzled. Gifting a sub to bad song. You're not wrong. It just hurts a little.
Sagan.
It's much easier if you write lyrics down. Is that why songwriters do that?
Yeah.
And don't improv every song they do?
Yeah.
I can't imagine why. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we will do a gaming stream. And there's a part of me that thinks that that's not a great idea because we are busy for doing trip prep. But the reason I want to do it is because I think we can do a game that we can finish, that we can cut up into videos and release on YouTube. Because we really need probably... I have this gut feeling, and also Dan tells me, that Red Dead is probably going to end while we're on the trip. Mm-hmm. And if Red Dead ends, we don't actively have anything to fill it. And I'm like, crap, that's not good. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to play through a short game tomorrow night. We're going to cut it up into a few videos, and then it'll come out when Red Dead ends. At some point. We're busy, but let's do a stream. But I explained why. I explained why we're doing it.
It's a relaxed recording session. Brandon is right.
It is. It's because otherwise we would try and record something. It'd be the same situation, but this will be a very casual experience, and people can enjoy it live. So we're gonna try it. And it'll be something that we can absolutely finish within 3 hours. So it'll just be a tiny thing. And it's a live recording.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're gonna do it. And then we'll have content when Red Dead finishes. And I don't know when it's gonna finish. I might know today because I'm gonna be working on it. Yeah. Moist Crunchy Potato gifted a sub to Steven Tried. I almost feel like that had been given a gift sub in the past, but it's at 1 month, so I guess not. I feel like that's happened before. Crunchy Potato, thank you. I did try. Sometimes it doesn't work so well. And Bedazzled Triceratops gifted a sub to 102 _, as it is the 102nd
How about
stream.
you get off that desk?
Please don't step on my keyboard, buddy. Oh, Lord.
No, he came up from the back, stood on your speaker, and then came down next to your keyboard.
Bless that child. I want to play! Someone play with me. And at 102, so 104 divided by 2 is 52. So next Thursday is 1 year.
Yeah.
The completion of 1 year. 52 weeks of breakfast stream. Cool. Thank you, Bedazzled. Thank you, everyone, for the immense support this morning. The gift subs, the bits. Thank you, Gami, for the huge
Haircut.
the huge haircut song that didn't go so well at the end there. I appreciate it. For everyone else, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to play something. I don't even know yet. I actually have a list of some options that would fit in that time frame. So I'll go over it with Mal, see what she wants to do, and
Yeah.
we'll do it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you again. Have a wonderful Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow night for a gaming stream.